Students, we're also streaming live. So if you have any kind of trouble connecting on Zoom, please feel free to join us on YouTube, the official channel of Training and Placement Cell. We'll wait for 2 minutes for others to join in. Those who have joined us, I request you all to please write down important points in your copies for future references. Good evening, one and all. A very warm welcome to all the participants for the third session of training workshop on skills and behavior. As we all know that listening is paying full attention to others and welcoming them into our very beings. I, Kamadi Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Applied Science and Humanities, and a member of Training and Placement Cell, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Lucknow, feel elated with joy to host the session 3. Today, we have an immensely talented lady of fervor and wisdom to join us, Ms. Simran Tyagi, ma'am. I heartily welcome you, ma'am. Ma'am has been a panelist for Life Foundation Women's Day event and a member of Leaders for Tomorrow, Igniting Minds, and numerous other forums for youth development. Today's topic for the virtual meet is how to transform your college going years into a solid foundation for the future ahead. I would like to share that a good education is a foundation for better future. I rather feel that the most reliable way to predict the future is to create it, as stated by Abraham Lincoln. Today, we would ensure to take a step ahead in the most reliable manner. For that, now I would present the board to you, ma'am. I request the host to please unmute Ms. Tyagi.
Hello?
Yes, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So will the video be like switched off?
It's as per your
No, ma'am, I'm
convenience,
turning
ma'am.
your video on. Can
Turning
you?
it
Yeah,
on.
I'd like the video to be turned on so it will be comfortable for others to see and interact.
The host will ensure it, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think this is better.
Yes, ma'am, we could see you.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Komati.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Simran Tyagi, and I would first like to take this opportunity to thank our faculty coordinator, Ms. Komati Singh, for inviting me to conduct this online session for the Training and Placement Cell of Faculty of Engineering, University of Lucknow. When I was approached by my friend Komati here to conduct this session, I thought about it and I pondered a lot. And I realized that this session is of immediate importance to undergraduates such as you all. Today, we are amidst a very rapidly changing climate, both in terms of what is happening outside in the world, as well as in terms of health, in terms of technology. Since you all are from the engineering background, I guess most of you are from engineering background, so you would understand what I mean. So I feel that it is very important for us to sit and discuss and talk about what can we do and how can we approach our future lives and our future selves into building our identity as citizens not only of our country but as well as citizens of the world. My aim in today's session is to only arouse a thought. It's to make all of you think. And if I'm able to do that, and there is a thought that gets engaged in all of your minds, I feel that it can further lead to deliberation, discussion, and some of you may debate it as well. So, with that thought in mind, I don't want to throw very complex, MBA management program jargons at you. I don't want you all to be thrusted with the personality development terms and ideas. I feel that if I was at your age, I mean, it was not a very long time ago, and when I was at your age, I feel I wish there were certain things that people would have told me. There was a little bit of knowledge that was passed down through generations, that perhaps nobody talks about. Which is why I chose the theme for my session as the journey that nobody talks about. How to transform your college going years into a solid foundation for the future ahead. As you all are aware, a man's life is divided into different phases. The first phase being brahmachari, and that is basically student's life. That is the first phase, and it was Manu who is known as the first child of God in our Hindu pantheon, first man philosopher who deciphered humankind for all of us. He had given these different phases or different ashrams to the journey that man undertakes throughout his life. I feel that I can further, divide this phase into three more phases. And the first phase that I feel we can talk about, which all of you will connect with, is your, childhood. When you're born into a family, your first influencers or your first teachers are your parents. They are your grandparents, your uncle, your aunts, the people who are you surrounded with. They are the ones who teach you how to speak, how to eat. So you imbibe their qualities. As you move further into primary education, your teachers, they are external teachers now. They become your role models. Throughout the years of schooling, you learn how to read, you learn how to write, you learn how to, you know, learn different disciplines such as arts and sciences. And that formal education is what mostly primary years of schooling is focused upon. However, I'd like to bring Mahatma Gandhi here, and in his work, his autobiographical work, My Experiments with Truth, he talks about how, as well as in his other work, Hind Swaraj, he talks about how a man's education or a child's education is not just about formal learning. It's also to learn about values, qualities like honesty, integrity, and to learn how to walk on the right path. In it, I think it's only in our country where value education and Shramdan is taught to young students in formal schools. So this feeling of working for the society, doing something for the society, enabling ourselves with empathy towards those who are around us, our the surroundings in terms of our heritage, our environment. This is something which is akin to only our country, I feel. So while you are growing up in your primary school years, I feel that as you reach class 11th, 12th, the first challenge that a young student faces is, parents who try to push you towards engineering or medical or law, and there are very limited options, and you are forced to choose one of these. The next challenge comes in terms of soaring cutoffs, trying to get into colleges that will help you, build your future. Some of us are lucky. We land the course of our choice. We go to colleges that we desire to. And some of us go to colleges and study courses that destiny had planned for us. This is where the first phase ends and the second phase starts for most of us. A young teenager leaves the warm surroundings of their home. Some of you, I am assuming, have come from small towns to study to Lucknow University. You have come from villages, perhaps. I'm not sure how many of you have, but probably some of you may have, at least a few of you, I'm guessing. So we all, when you leave your home and you leave the clutches of your parents and you step into an outer world, everything around you changes. You are used to living in amongst relationships which are homogeneous, that are same. same caste, same community, same kind of peer group, but you enter college and you build heterogeneous relationships. You have professors who are older than you, you have your peers who are your age, you have your seniors, you have your juniors. Life takes a 360-degree turn. There is chaos, there is confusion. A lot of us feel lost in this process. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if any one of you or all of you have felt confused, lost about your present, unsure of your past, and even more scared कि अब future में क्या होगा, what will happen tomorrow, then look at yourself and realize that this is very normal. What you are feeling and what you're going through is the first roadblock to building your identity. And why do I say building your identity? Because this journey of 3 years, 4 years that you go through from, I am guessing, 18, 19 years to 20, 21, 22, while you're in college, these are the most crucial years of your life. You're at the cusp of change. Either this change will make you or it will mar you. To further elaborate, a lot of us, when we enter college, we face many challenges. And I don't want to shove this down your throat, and I don't want to make it sound very preachy, but yes, there is competition from peer group, the way you look, the kind of consumption that you have of alcohol, perhaps drugs, perhaps so many other things that you are exposed to. And these are things that I feel can affect a child, a young developing mind, and it can negatively affect a young developing mind. This is something that it's only an individual's behest. You can either, you know, take it in your stride and you can be like, I'm not going to let this affect me, or you may get affected by it, but also learn to adapt and yet focus on what is more important, and that is yourself. This phase involves a lot of decision making. I would like to say that when young kids come to cities, they come to universities. I myself had lived in small places, and when I went to do my college, my graduation, I was 17. I went to Delhi University, and it was extremely difficult for me. And but what I realized was, when I was among so many different kind of people, what I realized was that I don't have to let go of who I was, my values, my culture, my upbringing that I've brought from the small towns that I've lived in. I don't have to let go of that completely. Yes, but I also have to expand my horizon. I also have to understand that there are different kinds of people who live, people who you can look at without judging them. When we come from smaller places, our minds are smaller. We know less. We have interacted with lesser people. So when you go to bigger cities, you go to a university to study, you will understand that not everything is black and white. Not everything is good and bad. People are in different shades, and it is lovely. It is the best way to accept people for the way they are. When you're in college, you have to be like sponge. You have to absorb, absorb, absorb. And while you're absorbing, you have to also learn how to chalk out those qualities which perhaps are not meant for you. Don't let go of who you are. Build on what you already are. Change your perspective towards society. Change your perspective towards the people around you. I feel it's very important, and this is something which nobody talks about. When people talk about personality development, they talk about skill upgradation, they never talk about being authentic. They don't talk about being honest. I would like to, talk about a few things that young students can look into while they're planning their future, while staying authentic to yourself. For example, I don't know how many of y'all come from family businesses. um, Family businesses, for example, if somebody has a mithai shop, or somebody has a cloth shop, or somebody has factories of packaging material, Perhaps they have carpet making factory in Mirzapur or somewhere. A lot of young kids, when they leave home, they go to big cities, they think, when they look back at their family business, they perhaps don't want to be involved. They don't think that this is engaging, this is interesting enough for them. But I feel that this is where you can come in. This is where your education can enable you. You can take your family business and you can use technology, knowledge, and your recent touch with the new world, and you can take your experience and put it back into your family business. It is always advisable to build on assets that you already have existing, rather than perhaps going for a 25 lakh 30 lakh MBA course after your engineering degrees. You can actually go back to your family business and you can innovate, and you can diversify your resources. You can create something that may not just help your family increase your income, make you economically independent, but it also might just help the people around you. As young college going kids, my advice to you would be that try to make change happen. Try to create change. Innovation, technology is in your hands. This is something that you can do. Today, I don't have to preach you, I don't have to tell you, but there are so many options available. If you have land, suppose you have a lot of family land and you're growing wheat or you're growing rice, and it's a seasonal occupation, you know that there are only limited number of people who can work on your farm. You have educated yourself, you have gone out of the society, of the village life, you've come to the city life. You don't want to be a farmer anymore. You perhaps don't take pride in being a farmer anymore. But if you go back and you use your innovation and you use your own mind, you can diversify your farming land into a honey keeping um, network. You can engage the people around you. You can keep honey, you can build honey what do you say, setups, and you can help them in increasing their income, the people who live around you. You can involve yourself in animal husbandry. What you can do is that many of you who irrigate your farmlands, you can innovate in irrigation of your farmland. Everybody knows about drip irrigation. Today there is drone technology. You can use drone technology to irrigate your farms. There is a lot that you can do. Today, a lot of rich families who are like big industrial families, their children, they've gone abroad, or they've gotten basic education and they have come back. And they have come back and they're all starting their own projects. They have become young CEOs or young directors, and they're taking forward the legacy. Break the barrier, create change. Each generation that moves forward has to create change. You have to create a ripple effect. You don't have to be stuck. You don't have to go from 3 years of graduation or 4 years of graduation to 2 years of MBA to 5 years of working for somebody else. No, you're in today's world. E-commerce has completely taken us all by surprise. I don't have to tell you all, but today unicorn startup in India is doing so well. We are currently, as of 14th of January 2020, India is home to 83 unicorns with a total valuation of $277.77 billion. And out of which 44 unicorns with a total valuation of 92 billion.77 have been born in 2021 during the COVID pandemic year. If any of you understand a little bit of economics, you will realize that the growth in e-commerce industry in startup India is immense. If you have an idea, if you have a little idea, if you are somebody who loves bags, if you're someone who loves clothes, somebody who loves, creating paintings or anything, you have an idea, take that idea, build that idea, and try to go for angel investment, try to go for crowdfunding, try to talk to people, network with people who understand you, go for seminars, watch YouTube videos. For some of you, you might think that money is a need. financial independence is a requirement. As you will grow older, your responsibilities will grow older, your parents will grow older, and the parent child relationship will change. One day you all have to develop into becoming nurturers for your parents. The role reversal shall take place, and in order to do that, you have to be financially independent. And I specifically speak to girls if they are here. I can't see who is there, but if you are there, then for young girls, this is something that I can say, that become breadwinners. Become breadwinners, take care of your parents, fund your own marriage, do whatever it takes to step forward out in the world. Don't stop yourself. Don't let your gender, your society, or your community stop you from growing. Um, in every climate change conversation, women are considered the best forces of effecting climate change. And the role of women in creating change in the society is immense. Imagine if every one of our mothers was financially independent, our country would be going through a different triple digit GDP, perhaps. It is possible. So let that idea build into your mind. Grow your ideas. Don't stop. You don't have to be stuck in a 9 to 5 job. Today, there are so many career avenues that are open. The influencer industry in itself is at 900 crore. 900 crore INR is the market for influencer industry in our country. Instagram, YouTube, blogging, Facebook Marketplace, these are the current places where people are experimenting. Some experiments are paying off, whereas some experiments are not paying off. It's years of hard work. It's not a one day success. Don't follow people blindly. You don't have to follow anybody blindly. Just because Bhuvan Bam has hit billions of views on YouTube doesn't mean that you will do the same. You don't have to follow anybody blindly, but you have to also understand that as young college going kids, you have exposed yourself to a world that is changing as we are blinking. So why to hold back? Why do you have to be stuck? If many of you want to get into academics, now is the time. Start planning. Which college do you want to go to? Where do you want to do your post graduation from? Which universities will be your backup university? What are the kind of entrances you have to take place? Start thinking. There's if you're in first year, go ahead. If you're in third year, then well, you're already late. You should have started planning in the second year. That is one thing that I'd like to say. Don't waste your college years. Let these 3 years become a bedrock, a foundational space for you to plan what your next 5 years are going to look like. Just like the government has 5-year plans, have a 5-year plan. Have short-term goals and have a long vision for yourself. I don't know how many of you have seen Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, but in that, Katrina gives this reference to Hrithik Roshan when he says that I'll work till 40 and then I'll retire. And she's like, but how do you know you're going to stay alive till 40? That's the same thing I feel. You don't know you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You can't plan your life for the next 50 years, but you can plan for today. And because we're a third world country, we have different challenges that we have to face. Most of us come from humble homes that need that kind of backing and security. So plan your 5-year goal. Have a vision board that this is what you do. For some of you, if traveling is your passion, then have that on your vision goal. If some of you, civil services is something you are interested in, have that on your vision board. If for most of you engineering graduates, if if investing in technology is your immediate goal, then go for it. Plan your future. Don't let time slip by. Time is very important. When you're young and you're able and you have the spirit of youth with you, everything that you do can be multiplied at a very fast pace. Like, for example, you watch a YouTube video, you can do it 1.25x speed immediately. Youth is like that. If you work hard today in your 20s, then you will have to work a little less harder in your 30s. And perhaps in your 40s, you will reach where you want to be. My request to all of you is that as leaders, view your life as a leader. If any of you feel that I'm not confident, I don't feel good about myself, I don't like the way I look, or you feel I can't communicate, I can't do public speaking, interpersonally communication nahi ho pata hai, to now is the time. Stand in front of the mirror, face yourself, put on your favorite outfit. If it's your favorite white kurta or it's your favorite black jeans, put it on. If there's a lipstick that you like to wear, put that lipstick on, brush your hair, and stand in front of the mirror, play your favorite music, and tell yourself that I am so and so, this is what I want to do, this is my goal for life, and I'm going to achieve it. You're scared of public speaking? No problem. Stand in front of the mirror and start speaking. Start recording yourself on camera. Start speaking on voice notes to yourself. Let your mind deliberate. Come out of these shackles. Don't let your family or your peer group or your partner, some of you may be having boyfriends or girlfriends, don't let them decide who you are going to be. You decide what you want to do. And with that thought in mind, move forward. Nobody will tell you this, but I am telling you, we are a country where parents support their children. We live with our parents. We're not a country like America where you're 18 and you're out of your home and then you have no relationship with your parents. No. You have to be aware that your responsibility is towards your family, it's towards yourself, and it's also going to be to the future family that you will build for yourself. Most of you will be like, oh my God, why is she talking about building a family at this age? But that's the reality. Even if that family involves your friends, closest of your friends, it's fine. Build an inner circle, 4-5 people, perhaps your parents, your sibling, your best friend, who you can share your thoughts with. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling depressed, then you can give them a call and they can be there at your doorstep and cheer you up. But also build an outer circle. Social interaction is the key to leading a happier and healthy life. Interacting with people, having a social circle, socializing, it's very important. So have an inner circle and as well as have an outer circle. And let these two worlds come together and grow you holistically. That is something you have to keep in mind. Your broader vision should be to become, firstly, citizens of the country, citizens of the world, and become responsible leaders in whichever space you are. Even if you're running a small boutique of clothes, it doesn't matter. You have to try to create change from where you are. For all of you who are young and who feel that, but हमें कुछ पता नहीं है, हम क्या करेंगे? It's okay नहीं पता है. आप कोशिश करिए. आप गलतियां करेंगे, आप उनसे सीखेंगे और आप आगे बढ़ेंगे. मैंने भी बहुत गलतियां की और मैं भी अभी भी सीख रही हूँ और अभी भी मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि मैं कुछ बेहतर कर सकूं. अपने आसपास जो लोग हैं, क्या मैं उनकी जिंदगी अच्छी कर सकती हूँ? हाँ, मैं कर सकती हूँ. मैं अकेले कर सकती हूँ. I can create change on an individual level. I would like to end this long conversation that I've had with all of you on these lines that as an individual, you're a microcosmic unit. And the society is a macro concept. It's a very large concept. As an individual, when you look at the society, you have a very small perspective. But if you bring your individuality and the society together, individual and society, not individual versus society, if you bring these two together, then your perspective will become macro. And as an individual, you will also grow. So have a growth mindset. Accept criticism. आपके जो निंदा करते हैं वो आपके सबसे अच्छे वेल विशर्स हैं, उनको अपने पास रखिए. अगर कोई आपको बार बार बुली करता है, आपको गिराता है, आपको कुछ गलत बोलता है, तो अपने लिए खड़े होइए। कोई भी लड़की अगर साइबर क्राइम फेस करती है या उसको कोई पार्टनर परेशान करता है या कोई छेड़ता है, तो अपने लिए आवाज उठाइए। अपने घर में अगर आपको कोई परेशान करता है तो उसके लिए आवाज उठाइए। जो आप कर सके ये आप करिए, क्योंकि पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट सिर्फ इंटरव्यू में जाना और 5 सवाल बोलना वो नहीं होता है। पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट होता है आप आज से अभी आगे तक, टिल द एंड ऑफ योर लाइफ, हाउ डू यू कंडक्ट योरसेल्फ. So on that note, I would like to end this session. I am ready to take whatever questions you have, and I hope in this long tirade of words, I touched some of you. I hope I made you think, and I'd like to end on that note that debate, discussion, deliberate, as Aristotle has said, is the best form of education. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would open the question and answer round and request the students to please raise your hands if you have any questions from our resource person. I hope the first question is from Ashish Pratap. He was raising his hands.
Hi, Ashish.
Yes, Ashish, you could please unmute yourself.
Can I see him as well? Like, can he show his video as well?
The host could do that. Chiranjeev, please look into this.
Ma'am, he's actually not available right now. I'm asking to unmute, but he's not unmuting.
Okay, no problem.
Those who have any problem in unmuting themselves, you could please leave your questions in the chat box.
Yeah. I can address the questions from the chat box as well. There's no problem. Please feel free, all of you. Online mode of education, as a recent theorist from Yale has said, has released a paper on this. Online mode of education is actually a better mode of education, क्योंकि classroom में सिर्फ जो लोग बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट होते हैं और और जो मतलब पढ़ के आते हैं और जिन्हें थोड़ा सा प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड होता है, वो अपनी आवाज उठा पाते हैं. बट ऑनलाइन मोड बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि आपके पास समय है, आप सोच सकते हो, अपने थॉट्स को कलेक्ट कर सकते हो. और जो लोग अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट फील करते हैं क्लासरूम में बात करने के लिए, वो ऑनलाइन मोड में बहुत आराम से अपनी बात बोल सकते हैं. आप उसको लिख सकते हो. आप कोई भी किसी भी, अगर आप किसी भी फील्ड के बारे में मुझसे जानकारी जानना चाहते हो, एजुकेशन है या क्या कहते हैं एंटरटेनमेंट है, सिविल सर्विसेज है, कुछ भी है, एकेडमिक्स है, आप मुझसे बात करना चाहते हैं तो आप कर सकते हैं. आई एम रेडी फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस.
Ma'am, we have one question from Abdullah Anzar.
Okay.
Yes, please, Anzar, go ahead.
Ma'am, how do we become more confident in ourselves? Like, if we have an idea and most of the time it feels like if we utter it out, express it out aloud to our parents or to our friends, they would judge us or they would not accept our ideas. So how to be more confident in expressing what we feel and
okay, so there are 2 points. There are 2 thoughts that you have joined together. I'll address the second thought first. You've spoken about acceptance. The need to be accepted by people who are around us, our family, our friends. It's a very personal journey. It comes also from a place where we seek acceptance when we're not sure of ourselves, which brings me to your second point, which is your first point, that is how to be confident. You will feel confident about yourself on days when you don't feel great also, if you are sure about who you are. Seeking acceptance from our family, from our friends is a natural human instinct. Every human being wants to feel liked. हम चाहते हैं कि हमें लोग पसंद करें. कोई भी ये नहीं चाहता है कि भाई मेरे को गाली सुनाए. कोई नहीं चाहता है. Everybody wants to be liked. मगर बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हम चाहे कितना अच्छा ही कर ले, हम कितने भी अच्छे हों, हमारा नेचर अच्छा हो, हम अच्छे से बात करें, फिर भी कुछ लोग हमारे फैमिली में हो सकते हैं, हमारे फ्रेंड्स में हो सकते हैं, they may not like us, or they may not like us all the time, which is why they say that you can impress some people sometimes, but you cannot impress all the people all the time. So this need for acceptance is a self discovery. You have to look into yourself and you have to understand that, why am I seeking acceptance from others? Do I really need acceptance from others? And if you have an idea about your personal life or about your professional life, about your academic life, and if you feel that idea is worth putting your penny on, then you build that idea, write about it, speak about it. एंड कभी कभार हम जब अपने आसपास के लोगों को नहीं अपनी थॉट्स बोल पाते हैं, तो इस सिचुएशन में जो मुझे लगता है, जो मैंने बहुत बार किया है, आप किसी स्ट्रेंजर को अपनी बात बता दो, जो आपको जानता ही नहीं है, जिससे आपका कोई लेना देना नहीं है, आप उसको अपनी बात बता दो. एंड दैट वे व्हेन यू अटर योर थॉट्स, the moment you utter them, they will become a reality. And when they become a part of your reality, then that will give you confidence. So you have to work on yourself. In A, expressing your idea. On B, in letting go of this need to be accepted and liked by people. If, for example, have you seen Tamasha? There's a movie called Tamasha by Imtiaz Ali. I think Abdullah can't hear me.
No, ma'am. I have not seen that movie.
Okay, so have you seen Jab We Met?
Yes, ma'am. I have seen Jab We Met.
So you know that scene na, in which Kareena Kapoor says कि मैं तो अपनी favorite हूँ.
Yes, ma'am.
Just be like that. कभी कभार ऐसा होता था, जब मैं स्कूल में थी या कॉलेज में थी, मैं एक आर्मी बैकग्राउंड से हूँ, मेरे पापा आर्मी में थे, तो मैं हर 2 साल में स्कूल चेंज करती थी. अब आप हर 2 साल में क्लास में जब नए स्टूडेंट होते हो, एवरीबडी जजेस यू. बहुत 90% लोग को नया बच्चा अच्छा नहीं लगता है, तो अब आप क्या कर सकते हो? आप कुछ नहीं करते. यू प्ले ऑन योर स्किल्स, यू प्ले ऑन व्हाट यू नो. आई नो हाउ टू स्पीक वेल, आई नो हाउ टू फाइट वेल, सो आई यूज्ड टू डू दैट. आई एम लाइक, कुछ भी है, हाथ खड़ा कर देती, मुझे करना है. You understand? I was not very good at academics when I was young. I was a good student, but I didn't like studying. तो मम्मी मार मार के पढ़ाती थी, तो मैं, बट मुझे बहुत पसंद था लाइक सॉफ्ट स्किल्स. मुझे डांसिंग, डिबेटिंग, एलिक्यूशन, ये सब बहुत अच्छा लगता था. तो मैं अपना हाथ खड़ा कर दी कि मुझे सब पार्टिसिपेट करना है. एंड आई यूज्ड टू प्ले ऑन माय स्किल्स. मैंने कभी स्पोर्ट्स नहीं खेला क्योंकि वो मेरा स्किल नहीं था. सो यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वर्क्स फॉर यू and you go ahead with it. If you have an idea that is, so for example, I don't know how comfortable you are with this idea. For example, if you are not comfortable with the way food is being served in your house, suppose you don't like, तुम्हें आज का मील नहीं पसंद आया कि आज बिरयानी क्यों नहीं बनी है, आज पुलाव क्यों बना है, don't repress your thought. छोटी चीज से स्टार्ट करो. बोलो, आप बिरयानी भी तो बना सकते थे, मुझे बिरयानी खाने का मन कर रहा है, बोल दो. The moment you will say it, you will be like, किसी को अच्छा लगे बुरा लगे मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मैंने तो बोल दिया. You understand? Just say that to yourself, and the day you feel low, talk to your friends, talk to your family. और अगर तब भी तुम अगर लो फील कर रहे हो और वो तुम्हें इंसान बोल रहा है कि यार भाई देख, तुझे ना खुद ही हैंडल करना पड़ेगा अपने आप को, ये ना ये तेरी प्रॉब्लम है यार, you deal with it, and they walk out. देन बहुत अच्छा है कि ये हुआ ऐसे, क्योंकि तुम्हें पता चल गया कि ये मेरा दोस्त है ही नहीं और ये इस लायक ही नहीं है कि मैं अपनी तकलीफ से शेयर करूं. देयर हैव बीन फेजेस इन माय लाइफ आई हैव हैड नो फ्रेंड्स, यू नो, लाइक जो फ्रेंड सर्कल था वो फॉल अपार्ट हो गया, एंड देन आई वाज फ्रेंडलेस, बट दैट डिडंट स्टॉप मी. I used to go to a coffee shop, sit by myself, read a book and have fun. So just find your own thing, and I think you'll be great. You seem like a really nice guy, and you should just focus on that. And I'm great. मैं तो हूँ ही best. बाकी जिसको जो सोचना है वो सोचता रहे. I don't care two hoots. You know, you have to have that attitude. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer.
Thank
Next, we have Abhishek Trivedi with us. Please unmute yourself, Abhishek.
you. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, good
Good
evening.
evening. I have a question that, ma'am, if a person has got a failure from the same stage, uh, and again, and he knows that he is doing well
Mm,
and he is perfect for
mm,
that thing, but
mm.
the failure was again and again. What should he do? She do?
Okay, great, very good question. I've been talking about this for the last 2 days with a lot of my friends. Exactly the same thought, and I have failed. If I can tell you, I lost count of the number of times I failed at doing something, at achieving a goal that has been my lifelong dream, and I have failed multiple times, and every time I feel that आई थिंक किसी भी मूवी में चाहे देवदास मूवी हो या अपने क्या कहते हैं कोई रोड साइड रोमियो हो, जब वो दिल टूटने का जो वो फीलिंग होता है ना, मुझे लगता है कि every time I failed, I feel it's worse than a heartbreak. And I have cried, I've had anxiety, I feel low, I feel very bad. But what has worked for
Ma'am,
me,
I don't cry and I don't cry and I don't feel anything. But the failure was that I got 3 times failure of same stage. But I don't feel anything about the failure because I think I am the best
you don't
and I have
associate, so you don't associate fail the see, I'll tell you, there's a difference. There are two kinds of failures. One is when you fail in life, when as a person you fail. For example, you were passing by on a road and an accident took place, and somebody right in front of your eyes trampled a beggar on the street and drove past, and you saw that incident and you moved away and you didn't help that person.
and this is the life failure.
That is a failure of life. That is, you have failed as a human being.
Yes, ma'am.
But for example, if you have failed at taking an attempt at an exam or at some course that you are doing, and you have failed multiple times at taking that attempt, so the difference is that you have not failed in life, you have not failed as a person,
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
failed in taking that attempt. So the good thing is about this situation for you, Abhishek, is that you have not failed in life. You don't feel that I have failed in life in general. मेरा ये attempt fail हुआ है. तुम अपने को associate नहीं करते हो उस stage of exam से या उस stage से, जो बहुत ही अच्छी quality है, क्योंकि आगे चल के life में हो सकता है तुम 5 बार, 10 बार, 15 बार, 20 बार fail हो सकता है, जरूरी नहीं है कि
Yes,
तुम
ma'am.
हो, तो तुम अपने को associate नहीं करते हो, और ये बहुत एक अच्छी quality है of being young. जब आप young होते हो, आपके अंदर एक innate quality होती है of being secured. As you grow older and if you keep failing, then you start feeling insecure. So so for you, this is like a combination of your youth, of the stage of life that you are. You may be secured as a person and you have that rationality in your mind. Perhaps you have a scientific temper which allows you to understand that me failing at this attempt and me failing in the exam are not the two same things, and it's okay. I will
Yes,
work
ma'am.
on myself. I will work on myself. I will try my best. And if I still fail, then it's okay. I'll try something else. Maybe that will work out.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't associate yourself with an exam.
But I'm not associating that,
Yeah,
ma'am.
which is great. Which is great. I mean, I wish I could learn this from you. Really, honestly.
Yeah, ma'am, what can I tell you for that?
It's great. Congratulations. If you feel this way, then अपने जब तुम आज से 5 साल बड़े हो जाओगे, तो
Yes, ma'am.
अपने को याद दिलाना कि the 5-year younger me knew that there is a difference.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
always take that forward with you. It's great.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So, ma'am, next we have Akriti Singh. I request
Hi,
Akriti Singh to
Akriti.
please unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma'am. Hello.
Hello, Akriti. How are you?
Ma'am, I'm fine. What about you?
How did you like the session?
Oh, it was very good and helpful.
Any criticism from you? I would love a feedback.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, actually, my question to you is that, ma'am, how can we get rid of jealousy factor in life?
Are people jealous of you or are you jealous of people? That's the question.
मैम मैं हो जाती हूँ कभी कभी.
कैसे जेलसी होती है? मतलब मटेरियलिस्टिक चीजों से जेलसी होती है कि या रिलेशनशिप से जेलसी होती है?
नो मैम, लाइक अगर कोई ज्यादा अच्छा है, हम उसमें अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर पा रहे, कुछ ऐसे फैक्टर्स की वजह से.
ओके जैसे कि मतलब एकेडमिक्स में कि ऐसे कोई इवेंट में या ऐसे कुछ? Like you'll have to be a little more specific for me to understand. Hello?
हेलो.
हाँ, can you hear me?
लाइक मैम, लाइक हम स्पोर्ट्स अगर खेल रहे हैं तो लाइक
Right.
अगर कोई ज्यादा अच्छा हो गया तो जेलसी फैक्टर आ गया.
वो
या
जेलसी नहीं है, वो तो स्पोर्ट्समैन स्पिरिट है, कंपेटिटिवनेस है, वो तो बहुत अच्छी बात है.
मैम लाइक एकेडमिक्स में भी ये चीज होती है.
मतलब आपसे ज्यादा मार्क्स अगर किसी के आ जाए.
या और अगर हम कोई चीज डिस्कस भी कर रहे हैं, कोई ज्यादा अच्छे से उसको बोल दे रहा है, हम अपने आप को इलेबोरेट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तो उस टाइम जेलसी फैक्टर आ जाता है.
So, the root cause of jealousy, as like I spoke to the first person, I've forgotten his name, Abdullah, I think.
Abdullah answer.
So
Yes.
the first root cause of jealousy is the same as the root cause for wanting acceptance from others. That is insecurity with yourself. If you are not secured as a person, if you're not completely okay with who you are, or I won't say 100% completely okay with who you are, but if you are even 80% okay with who you are, then you will not feel jealous. Also, jealousy का जो root होता है ना आकृति, वो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे घर में एस्टैब्लिश होता है, वो हमारे फैमिली में एस्टैब्लिश होता है. जैसे कि सपोज जब मैं छोटी थी और मैं क्लास 10th बोर्ड्स दे रही थी, मेरी एक कजन सिस्टर थी बनारस में. मेरे नानी जब विंटर वेकेशन में आती तो मुझे हमेशा ताना मारती कि तुम मिरर के सामने खड़े होके डांस करती रहती हो, यू डोंट स्टडी. एंड तुम्हारी जो कजन सिस्टर है वो तो पूरे दिन अपना दरवाजा बंद करके बस पढ़ती रहती है, उसकी प्लेट भी ऐसे जाती है अंदर और ऐसे बाहर आती है, शी स्टडीज अ लॉट. और मैं हंसती थी बिकॉज मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट मुझे कहीं ना कहीं तो बुरा लगता भी था क्योंकि मैं 14-15 साल की थी. अब बात ये है कि एज एल्डर्स उन लोगों ने एक बहुत बड़ा पेरेंटिंग मिस्टेक किया कि उनने एक यंग गर्ल को हु इज एक्सप्रेसिंग हर सेल्फ थ्रू डांस एंड एंजॉइंग हर ओन कंपनी, उसको बोला कि यू आर नॉट गुड इनफ बिकॉज यू आर नॉट स्टडिंग. एक मतलब देयर इज नो कनेक्शन, बट मेरे को कंपेयर किया और वो उनकी सबसे बड़ी गलती थी कि उन्हें मुझे कंपेयर नहीं करना चाहिए था. Thankfully, I come from a family where my parents never made me feel insecure about who I am. तो मुझे इस बात का बस बुरा लगा, उसने मेरी पर्सनालिटी को चेंज नहीं किया. लेकिन जब आपके पेरेंट्स, आपके सिबलिंग्स, आपके फ्रेंड्स आपको किसी के साथ कंपेयर और कॉन्ट्रास्ट कंटिन्यूसली करते हैं, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं बचपन से आपकी साइकी को इफेक्ट करता है. तो वो भी एक रीजन होता है इन फीलिंग jealous when others are doing better than you. If you're a sports person and you have played any kind of sport, whether it's athletics, whether it's badminton, whether it's cricket, as a sports person, if you feel jealous of those who are doing better than you, then that is not jealousy, that is competitiveness. And in order to come first in life, competitiveness is a very good quality. But if somebody's victory makes you feel and makes you curse them and says things like, say things like, काश ये कभी नहीं जीती होती, काश इसका पैर टूट जाता, काश ये बिल्डिंग से गिर जाती, अगर आपके ऐसे नेगेटिव थॉट्स हैं तब ये जेलसी है. तो आपको समझना पड़ेगा थोड़ा सा फ्लैशबैक में, बिकॉज हाउ ओल्ड आर यू आकृति, मे आई आस्क? कैन आकृति हियर मी, कॉमेडी?
Yes, you're audible.
So Akriti, how old are you?
Yes, Akriti, please unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
How old are you?
Now I'm 20 years old.
Okay. So you'll have to go in flashback and you have to see कि क्या आपको घर में कंपेयर किया जाता था किसी के साथ, क्या आपको बोला जाता था कि यार उसकी बेटी है उसके जैसे पढ़ो, या उसका बेटे ने बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस किया उसके जैसे करो। अगर आपको इस तरीके से अपब्रिंगिंग में ये सारी बातें बोली गई, तब बहुत नेचुरल है आपका बड़ा होके उसको ज्यादा फील करना। It's very natural for you to feel that way. And how you can work on this quality, on this vice, I would rather say, is that give your best, whatever you do in life. If you're cooking Maggie, make the best Maggie possible. If you're studying, try to give your best. And if somebody does better than you, clap for them. Be happy. Be very happy for them. Celebrate their success, because their achievement and their success will not take away credit from the efforts that you have put in. If you even get 0 marks at a test, it's okay, because you know कि अगर मैं आज 0 पे हूँ तो मैं कल उसके आगे एक 1 लगा के 10 भी हो सकती हूँ। ये तुम्हारे हाथ में है, तुम कर सकती हो इसको। किसी से जेलस फील करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। हाँ, अगर तुम्हें कंपेटिटिव फील होता है और तुम्हें लगता है कि कुछ लोगों के लिए ये फ्यूल होता है कि इफ यू फील कंपेटिटिव यू वांट टू डू बेटर, यू लाइक चैलेंजेस, अगर तुम्हें ऐसा फील होता है तो उसको पॉजिटिवली एम्ब्रेस करो, उसका पॉजिटिविटी एम्ब्रेस करो और उसका जो नेगेटिव पार्ट है उसे हटा दो। अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम एलैबोरेशन में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तुम्हें, तो उसका बहुत अच्छा तरीका है, यू कैन स्टार्ट जर्नलिंग, you can start writing your thoughts, you can start, मैं तो मतलब अपने फोन पे I have like a notes pad, I just when I feel anything मैं बस नोट्स पैड पे लिखना शुरू कर देती हूँ, तो उससे बहुत हेल्प होता है on elaborating your thoughts. So you can work on that. You are very young and I love the fact that you have come up on a platform and spoken about something that's so simple but very personal, and it takes a lot of courage ये बोलने के लिए कि मुझे jealous feel होता है और मुझे ये अच्छा नहीं लगता कि क्यों ऐसा है. So I think everybody should everybody should like clap for you and like celebrate the fact that you are so open with your emotions. I love that. Very good.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for addressing that question of our
Welcome.
students. Next, we have Rajneesh Shukla. Please unmute yourself, Rajneesh.
जी, good evening, ma'am.
Namaste. Good evening.
Ma'am, today's session is presenting by you is very hardly, and we feel very comfort with you. And I want to ask a question on the comfortness of talking with anyone.
Okay, lovely. I love that question. आप क्या कर रहे हैं पढ़ाई में? What are you doing?
Pursuing BTech in artificial intelligence.
Wow, artificial intelligence.
Yes, ma'am.
मतलब आप तो लखपति बनने वाले हैं बहुत जल्दी. You are
God,
working.
ma'am.
You're going to be a millionaire very soon in life.
Hope, ma'am.
I wish you the best. Artificial intelligence is the next step for us in technology, and I hope you're keeping track of the amazing work that scientists in India today are doing. I hope you're aware about LiDAR technology, and I hope you know that we're going to establish our own LiDAR technology farm in Maharashtra. And I hope कि तुम ऐसा काम करो कि तुम्हें वहां जाके काम करने को मिले, ग्रेविटेशनल वेव्स को सुनने को मिले, और आगे चल के हमें फिर बताना अपने रिसर्च पेपर्स में कि कैसा रहा तुम्हारा एक्सपीरियंस.
मैम, एक क्वेश्चन है.
जी
मैम, आप जितना इंटरेस्ट से बता रही हैं, ये क्लास प्रेजेंट कर रही हैं, इतना इंटरेस्ट लेके हम पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाते.
अरे वाह, ये तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात कही हुई आपने. मैं क्यों इंटरेस्ट लेके, ये बहुत अच्छा सवाल है. इंटरेस्ट लेके मैं इसलिए आपसे बात कर रही हूँ क्योंकि ये जो टॉपिक है ये मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब है. मुझे लगता है कि
मैम, ये स्टार्टिंग से ही मुझे फील हो रहा है कि ये क्लास बहुत ही हार्डली चल रही है.
जी, थैंक यू. आपने इतना अप्रिशिएट किया, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. यू नो, when you're going through a very difficult phase in your life, and when some friends even when you are going through a difficult phase, but वो आपके अंदर वो एक क्वालिटी देखते हैं, आपको अप्रिशिएट करते हैं और आपको इतने बढ़िया सेशन के लिए बुलाते हैं, तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है। कॉमेडी इज माय बैचमेट फ्रॉम मास्टर्स इन क्या कहते हैं, इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट, एंड उन्होंने मुझे बहुत इनकरेज किया और उन्होंने मुझे बहुत मोटिवेट किया कि नहीं सिमरन, आप आके बात करिए, आप बोलिए, एंड बच्चे आपको सुनना पसंद करेंगे। मुझे खुद भी नहीं पता था कि मैं इतना एंजॉय करूंगी इस सेशन को और मुझे बात करने में मजा आएगा। मुझे ये भी नहीं पता था कि मैं आप लोग से क्या बात करूंगी। आप बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, मैंने आधे घंटे पहले, ये सेशन स्टार्ट होने से पहले, बस अपने कुछ पेजेस पे लिखा कि मैं क्या बोलूंगी आप लोग को, और मैंने उसको फॉलो भी नहीं किया। मजे की बात ये है। तो आई थिंक I have gone through a very long, arduous journey. I'm the first child from my family who went to Delhi University, who went to Miranda House to study. And मैं पहले हूँ अपने फैमिली में जिसने डबल पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन किया है। तो मैंने बहुत सारा मैंने आई हैड ग्रेजुएटेड वेरी अर्ली। मैं 20 में ग्रेजुएट हो गई थी। मैं लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी मास्टर्स करने 1 साल बाद आई थी, एंड मैं सिविल सर्विसेज की तैयारी कर रही हूँ और मैंने बहुत पढ़ाई की एंड मैंने बहुत कुछ देखा। बट आई थिंक इसीलिए मुझे समझ में आता है कि लाइफ में it's very important to talk about those and to make conversation on those topics that people don't want to indulge in. For example, when I talk about going back to your roots, or I talk about carrying your family's value forward, किसी भी मैनेजमेंट क्लास में आपको शायद ये बात नहीं बोलेंगे, क्योंकि ये एक पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है, ये मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है। और मेरा एक्सपीरियंस क्योंकि मेरा खुद का है और मैंने किसी किताब से उठा के नहीं बोला, तो आपको वो अच्छा लग रहा है क्योंकि आप उससे कनेक्ट कर पा रहे हो। सो जो मैंने स्टार्टिंग में अपने सेशन में बोला था कि बीइंग ऑथेंटिक, if you're authentic, if you are you, then people will want to talk to you. And the comfort of being able to interact with people comes from a place of security, comes from a place of confidence, comes from a place where I know that I have done right. I know that what I'm doing is right. मेरा interest at heart अच्छा है। मेरा कॉमेडी का यहाँ पे, हम लोग यहाँ पे आप लोगों को हेल्प करने आए क्योंकि हम भी आपके जगह पे थे, लेकिन हमारे शायद लोगों ने हेल्प नहीं की। इसलिए हम चाहते हैं कि हम हेल्प करें और हम लोग आपसे सीखे। सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम आपसे सीखे, बिकॉज यू आर द आई एम 28, you're 20 years old, and 8 year एज गैप। मेरी खुद की छोटी बहन मुझसे 8 साल छोटी है और मैं रोज उससे कुछ सीखती हूँ। मुझे नहीं आता था ये जूम सेशन सेट करना, मेरी बहन ने मेरे लिए सेट किया। तो आई थिंक इट्स अ म्यूचुअल लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस, एंड आई एम एंजॉयिंग टॉकिंग टू यू all. So that's why I think you guys are also enjoying.
Surely, ma'am. Next, we have the question from Sakshi Saket. Please unmute yourself, Sakshi.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Hello Sakshi, how are you? I'm sorry, मेरा गला थोड़ा बैठे जा रहा है। मैं अभी बस कोविड से रिकवर कर रही हूँ, तो थोड़ी मेरी आवाज
Ma'am, myself, maybe I would cough, right? Me
God.
too. Ma'am, my question was that you said that when we feel down or we feel depressed, talk to our elders or maybe friends.
Yeah.
But what to do when we don't want to talk to them also? Means I totally feel that I don't want to talk to them. Maybe be it my parents or maybe my friends. Then what to do in that situation?
Okay. So feeling depressed temporarily, for example, if you've not done well at your exam, or you just don't feel good during these pandemic years, being at home 24/7, having no access to an outer life, has been very difficult on the mental health of students, like yourself, I'm sure. If it's a temporary thing, Sakshi, then the way to deal with it is, if you don't like talking about it, a lot of people like to internalize their pain and they don't feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, like yourself. So what you can do is, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't think I can give you the best answer for this, but from my own experience, when I have gone through this, I can tell you that I believe in speaking. आई बिलीव इन ब्लर्टिंग आउट। मैं ब्लैबर करती हूँ, मुझे जो लगता है दिल में मैं बोल देती हूँ। जब तक मैं उसको शायद बहुत बार ना बोलूं, मुझे उस चीज से तकलीफ कम नहीं होती है। लेकिन ऐसा हुआ है समटाइम्स कि मेरा नहीं मन करता बात करने का, तो उस सिचुएशन में मैं अपने हम्बल 10 रुपए के पेन का सहारा लेती हूँ और आई राइट. बहुत टाइम ऐसे भी होता है कि आप लिख भी नहीं पाते हो अपने थॉट्स को. तो मैंने ये भी किया है कि मैंने अपना फोन कैमरा वीडियो ऑन करके अपने सामने रखा, यही डेस्क के ऊपर, एंड आई हैव लाइक जस्ट स्पोकन टू माई सेल्फ, बिकॉज आई फील कि nobody knows me better than me myself. I am my best friend. I feel that way. So कभी कभार अपना दुख अपने से शेयर करना वो भी अच्छा है, वो भी एक तरीका है. Taking a walk outside, listening to music, any kind of music, listening to podcasts, आप कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि आप मोटिवेशनल चीजें सुने, आप अपने साथ समय बिताएं, आप अपने फोन में जो इंटरेक्शन है उसको भी सेल्फ अवेयरनेस की तरफ डायरेक्ट करें, और आप सुनो और फिर अपना रख दो साइड में और फिर सोचो. आप बैठ के सोचो कि मेरे क्या थॉट्स हैं, मुझे क्या फील हो रहा है, मुझे अपने अंदर सेल्फ डिस्कवरी करो. एक फेमिनिस्ट राइटर है, बहुत फेमस पैंथियन फेमिनिज्म के हैं, उनका नाम है वर्जीनिया वुल्फ. क्योंकि आप लड़की हैं, मैं आपको ये बात बोल सकती हूँ कि फॉर अ वुमन टू थिंक एंड फॉर अ वुमन टू ग्रो शी नीड्स अ रूम ऑफ हर ओन. इट्स अ वेरी फेमस सेइंग बाय वर्जीनिया वुल्फ. एवरी वुमन नीड्स अ रूम ऑफ हर ओन. एंड जब वो रूम ऑफ हर ओन बोलती हैं तो वो ये नहीं कह रही है कि फिजिकली इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वाइज आपके पास एक अपना कमरा हो, नहीं, आपके पास मेंटली एक रूम ऑफ योर ओन भी हो जहां पे आप सोच सको. समटाइम्स decluttering your mind, staying away from the chatter of people that is bogging you down can be therapeutic. If you like to paint, you like to dance, you like to listen to music, you like to sing, आपको कुछ भी अगर ऐसा अच्छा लगता है करना, आप अपने फोकस को शिफ्ट करो और आप वो चीज करो जिससे आपको खुशी मिलती है. सपोज जैसे मुझे कभी कभार लो फील होता है तो मुझे कुछ अच्छा खाने से बहुत खुशी मिलती है, तो मैं किचन में जाके पका लेती हूँ और मैं खा भी लेती हूँ, मैं अपने लिए बनाती हूँ. तो आप वो भी कर सकते हो. जस्ट शिफ्ट योर फोकस. Either there are two ways. Either you go into a self discovery mode, you internalize your pain, you deal with it, or you shift your focus and you change your mindset and try to develop. Australian education system follows the model of growth mindset. Try to follow a growth mindset. ग्रोथ माइंडसेट का ये होता है कि आप जैसे जैसे लाइफ में चैलेंजेस आते जाते हैं, आप उनको एक्सेप्ट करके उनके साथ डील करने के लिए अपने को बिल्ड करते हो. एक फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट होता है जिसमें आप चेंजेस जब लाइफ में आ रहे होते हैं ना साथ में, आप उसके साथ नहीं आगे बढ़ना चाहते. यू डोंट वांट टू, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, आई बिलीव दैट I will only marry a guy who's 6 feet tall, who has blue eyes, who has pink lips, who has like ripped body, and who wears only white shirts. अब इसके अगेंस्ट अगर कुछ भी आ गया, मैं नहीं एक्सेप्ट करूंगी. तो ये मेरा फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट है. आपको फिक्स माइंडसेट नहीं रखना है, आपको ग्रो करना है, अपने पेन के साथ भी ग्रो करना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू लूज अ फैमिली मेंबर, your life will not stop, will it, Sakshi? Your life has to move on. So how to accept that pain and to move forward with it, that is adulting. You're 20 something, I can tell you this is adulting. This is facing adulthood right in the face. और just go at it. कभी कभार चीजों को मतलब बस head on bang on ले जाओ. just charge at it, charge that. मतलब छोड़ो ही मत, बोलो मैं, तुम मुझे परेशान कर रहे हो, ये बात मुझे परेशान कर रही है, मैं इसको तोड़ दूंगी. I will break it into pieces and I will burn it and then flush it. That's the best. I hope.
Surely, ma'am. Ma'am, we have one question from our YouTube channel also. As
Lovely.
we are live on YouTube also, the question is from Dinesh Kumar, and the question is regarding negativity of social media. How to
Wow.
overcome it?
Unfortunately, social media is it's like a dragon spitting fire. You can get burnt by it, but you can also get illuminated by its flame. So treat social media like a dragon. like a dragon is a mystical figure. It doesn't exist in the real world. Social media also does not exist in our real world. Social media life is a real life. Like Instagram has introduced their new reels. Social media is just like that. It's real, REEL. It's not REAL. So the negativity that comes from social media, for example, if you put up a post on Instagram or on Facebook, or you've uploaded a video on YouTube talking about your passion project or something you enjoy doing, and you face negative criticism from people, you face trolling, you face cyberbullying, then there are two ways to look at it. One is, like I said, head on, bang at it. Deal with the person right there and then. But unfortunately, the only adage or the only problem of facing trolls or negative criticism on social media is that they are faceless. So they can say whatever they want and they can leave you enraged. That is one. Second is, social media has raised the standards of common life to such perfectionist levels that it causes anxiety because we are continuously, exposed to it. You see people, you are in your humble house with your parents, maybe your family is suffering through an illness, maybe there is financial disturbance, maybe there is something going wrong in your relationship with your partner, maybe your academic excellence is not to the mark and you're not feeling good about yourself on a particular day. And because you're exposed to social media to such an extent, when you look at other people's lives, which is basically snapshots of everything that's great in their life, and you keep looking at it and you keep scrolling, and it's mindless scrolling, for everybody. हम सब ऐसे देखते रहते हैं. And जब आप वो perfect life का imagery देखते हो, तो आपको ना चाहते हुए भी आपको बहुत ज़्यादा सेल्फ एस्टीम आपका इफेक्ट होता है, आपको बुरा फील होता है, आपको लगता है कि यार मेरी लाइफ ऐसी क्यों नहीं है, व्हाई एम आई नॉट ट्रैवलिंग टू मालदीव्स, शायद आज तक हमको पता, मतलब मुझे लगता है कि जब तक इंस्टाग्राम नहीं आया था, आई थिंक हाफ ऑफ द पीपल इन आवर कंट्री डिडंट इवन नो मालदीव्स, और अभी सबको मालदीव्स पता है क्योंकि हर कोई मालदीव जा रहा है, सब बस पकड़ के जा रहे हैं मालदीव्स, ठीक है, और हमें मालदीव जाना भी नहीं है, बट अभी हमने उसको देख लिया इतनी बार कि ह्यूमन साइकोलॉजी है. दूसरी प्रॉब्लम सबसे बड़ी जो सोशल मीडिया की है कि इट्स बिकम द नेक्स्ट जेन टूल फॉर मार्केटिंग एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग, फॉर ब्रांड प्रमोशन. So we are being excessively, we live in a capitalist world. Okay, my friend, we live in a capitalistic world. We have been since Industrial Revolution. However, capitalism has become ugliest in the social media phase because it is shoving consumerism 24/7 down our throats. मेरे को नहीं जरूरत है, ठीक है, मेरे को क्या कहते हैं, नहीं जरूरत है, perhaps मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ, मुझे सपोज इस बॉटल की जरूरत नहीं है, मेरे घर में नॉर्मल बॉटल है, मैं उससे पानी पी सकती हूँ, लेकिन क्योंकि मैंने इंस्टाग्राम पे 50 इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को ये मतलब बॉटल से पानी पीते हुए देख लिया है, तो अभी मैंने ये बॉटल खरीद लिया. ये 150 का बॉटल है, इसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट मुश्किल से ₹2 होगा चाइना में, और मैंने ये 150 में खरीदा है. तो आप समझ सकते हो कि सोशल मीडिया का क्या इम्पैक्ट है. How do we then switch off ourselves from first the negativity of people criticizing us, second being voyeuristic in our approach towards social media, that we are just, it's like it's a television screen to people's lives, to their homes, to their vacations, to their relationships. And the third thing is consumerism, brand marketing, advertising. Social media is working at so many aspects. The only time social media can be beneficial to you is when you use it for the right purpose. For example, if you are a seller on Instagram or on Facebook Marketplace and you are selling your product, then you will realize that social media really works. So if you are somebody who believes in social welfare or animal welfare and you start making small reels about how to inculcate empathy towards living animals and how to take care of them, and you start making little videos, and that video starts garnering attention, and that leads to funds coming in and you helping even more animals to have a better life, then that social media is serving a dutiful purpose to you. So if you feel that negativity is the cause of concern when you're being exposed to social media, I would suggest, मैं आज की हूँ, मैं ये नहीं बोल सकती हूँ कि भाई तू इंस्टाग्राम का अकाउंट डिलीट कर दे, वो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. That's not possible. You can't do it. Sometimes maybe you can take a break, but it's not possible. I would suggest turn the game around. Do something on Instagram, sell something. जाके अमीनाबाद से 10 पेन खरीद लो, उसका पैकेजिंग करो सुंदर से, उसको इंस्टाग्राम पे आप अपना अकाउंट क्रिएट करके बेच दो. Earn some bucks out of it. Negativity of social media will make you money. You'll do well, you'll be happy. So change the game around, and that should work for you. I don't know how much this must have helped you, but yeah, these are my.
Thank you, ma'am, for this insight. We'll take up the last question for the session, and that's from Raj Sharma.
Oh, hi Raj, my name is Simran. That's a joke.
Hello.
Yes, Raj,
Hi,
please go
Raj.
ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. And your session is so good and OP, ma'am.
OP, what is OP?
Ma'am, out of power.
Oh my God, I did not know that. रुक जाइए,
And,
लिख लेती है इसको कहीं पे.
Yes, ma'am. This is a punchline.
Thank you.
And my question is that how can we remove the laziness in daily basis? First of all, मेरे साथ ये केस हुआ मैम कि अभी सेमेस्टर चल रहे थे. सेमेस्टर टोटल 70 मार्क्स का होता है, बट मैंने 2 या 3 पेपर ऐसे किए 54 तक कर लिया, बस ठीक है रहने देते हैं. अटेम्प्ट इतना करता हूँ फिर रहने, फिर बाद में मुझे रियलाइज होता है यार आगे कर लेता हूँ. तो ये चीज ऐसे लेजीनेस मतलब
ये इंजीनियरिंग पेपर्स हैं जो जिनकी बात आप कर रहे हैं?
यस मैम, सेमेस्टर पेपर्स. एंड ऐसे डेली लाइफ में भी लेजीनेस काफी ज्यादा होता रहता है इसलिए.
आपने अपना मेडिकल चेकअप करवाया?
हाँ मतलब फाइन हूँ, बट
आप अपना हीमोग्लोबिन लेवल चेक करवाइए, पहली बात. दूसरी बात, अपना ब्लड प्रेशर चेक करवाइए, ब्लड शुगर चेक करवाइए, थायराइड का टेस्ट करवाइए, LFT TFT करवाइए. आप अपना फर्स्टली मेडिकल चेकअप कराइए. होगा ये आपको कुछ है नहीं, लेकिन जब वो लिख के आ जाएगा ना कि कुछ नहीं है, तो आपको तब समझ में आएगा कि भाई प्रॉब्लम एक्सटर्नल नहीं, मतलब इंटरनल नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम यहाँ है, प्रॉब्लम बॉडी के साथ नहीं है. लेजीनेस इज अ स्टेट ऑफ माइंड. Laziness should not, if you are suffering from a health issue, for example, a lot of people who are clinically going through depression or are feeling anxious, on most of the days it's very difficult for them to even get up from their bed and to do small things like brushing your teeth, washing your face, so if you have to identify firstly, मैं लेजीनेस को मजाक की तरह नहीं ट्रीट करती, क्योंकि बहुत लोग को लगता है कि ये मतलब आप अगर किसी को बोलो कि यार मुझे लेजी फील हो रहा है, बोलेंगे भाई उठ के 4 कदम चल लो, हो गया, बट आई डोंट ट्रीट लेजीनेस एज अ साइन ऑफ weakness or as something that you don't want to do. You have to understand why am I feeling lazy. You have to articulate it for yourself. So you first rule out on medical terms, am I going through something that I'm not aware of? I remember when I was in class 12th, for a month, during my summer vacations, जब हम लोग extra classes होते थे, so मैं जनरली आई एम अ वेरी एक्टिव पर्सन, तो मैं दिन में कभी नहीं सोती. मैं जब बहुत बीमार हो जाती हूँ तब मैं दिन में सोती हूँ, तब मैं समझ जाती हूँ कि ओ मैं बीमार हूँ. तो जब मैं 12th में थी, ऐसा हुआ कि मेरी सुबह 4 बजे की ट्यूशन्स होती थी, 4 या 5 बजे की मॉर्निंग की ट्यूशन्स होती थी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर की. तो मैं उसके लिए जाती थी, मैं वापस आती थी, मेरे फादर ऑफिस चले जाते, मेरी मॉम वेकेशन पे मेरे नानी के यहाँ गई थी. तो मेरे फादर जैसे ऑफिस जाते थे 8 साढ़े 8, मैं सो जाती थी और मैं पूरे दिन सोती रहती थी. मैं दोपहर में लंच टाइम में उठती थी जब मेरे डैड आते थे लंच बनाने. ये काफी दिन तक मेरे साथ होता रहा और फिर मुझे 10-15 दिन बाद लगा कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, ये मैं तो हूँ ही नहीं, मैं इतनी लेजी हो ही नहीं सकती हूँ. जब मेरा टेस्ट हुआ तो पता चला कि मुझे 15 दिन से फीवर था, मुझे जॉन्डिस हो गया था एंड मेरी तबीयत काफी ज्यादा खराब हो गई थी. आई हैड टू बी एडमिटेड इन द ICU. तो मैं आपको एनेक्डोट इसलिए बता रही हूँ कि लेजीनेस को पहले रूल आउट करिए ऑन मेडिकल ग्राउंड्स. अगर मेडिकल ग्राउंड्स पे कोई भी आपको तकलीफ नहीं है, साइकोलॉजिकल ग्राउंड्स पे आपको कोई भी तकलीफ नहीं है, यू आर नॉट फीलिंग एंजाइटी और यू नॉट फीलिंग डिप्रेस, अगर ये सब रूल आउट हो गया तो अब आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि मे बी योर लेजीनेस springs from the fact that you're disinterested, or attempting 75 marks in your exam is something that you're not looking forward for because you are settling for less. You are okay with getting 55 में से अगर तुम्हारे 35-40 मार्क्स आ जा रहे हैं तो तुम्हारे लिए वो काफी है, तुम कम से खुश हो, समझ रहे हो? अगर ऐसा है तो तुम अपने को क्वेश्चन करो कि ये इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री जो मैं कर रहा हूँ, मैं जो पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ, क्या मैं ये अपने लिए कर रहा हूँ या मैंने इसलिए किया क्योंकि यार और कुछ मिला नहीं, यही ठीक था, साइंस स्टूडेंट था, मैथ्स पढ़ता था, मतलब हो गया एडमिशन, चलो कर लेते हैं। तो तुम्हें अपने इंटेंशन को क्वेश्चन करना पड़ेगा पहली बात, और तुम्हें थोड़ा सा अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर, बात यह है कि कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर निकलना बहुत जरूरी है। मैं भी हूँ लेजी, ऐसी बात नहीं है, मैंने अपना क्या कहते हैं बहुत बार इंटरनल असाइनमेंट सबमिट में एकदम लास्ट मोमेंट में जाके करती थी, मैं भी हूँ लेजी, मैं अग्री करती हूँ, लेकिन it should not happen to this extent that it starts negatively affecting your life. You have to draw the line for yourself and you have to question your intentions. Make a list of things that are stopping you from doing things that you want to achieve. तुम लाइफ में क्या करना चाहते हो, तुम्हारा क्या है शॉर्ट टर्म गोल, तुम इंजीनियरिंग के बाद अपने को किस करियर स्पेस में देखते हो, क्या तुम्हें घर पे बैठ के सिर्फ क्या कहते हैं मॉम डैड के पैसों पे जीना है, या तुम्हें पता है कि तुम्हारे पापा के पास फैमिली बिजनेस है और तुम्हें कुछ काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है इसलिए तुम कंफर्टेबल हो कम मेहनत करने से। तुम्हें अपने को क्वेश्चन करना है, और अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि नहीं यार मेरा तो इंटेंशन हर चीज को लेके बिल्कुल सही है and I'm happy with the person I am, but still I'm not able to work hard, then start small, start making small changes, get up early in the morning, go for a run, I won't say take membership of some expensive gym and all, I don't believe in all that. चाहे आप गांव में रहो, चाहे किसी कस्बे में रहो, चाहे आप बिजी शहर में रहो, सुबह 5 बजे उठ के आप किसी भी गली में भाग सकते हो। आप सुबह उठो, भागने जाओ, फिजिकली एक्टिव हो। जब फिजिकल एक्टिविटी हर दिन आप 40 मिनट 50 मिनट करोगे तो मेंटली आपका ब्रेन चलना शुरू होगा, एंड मे बी दैट विल हेल्प यू इन बीइंग एबल टू कंप्लीट योर टारगेट्स, बिकॉज आई फील दैट यू आर नॉट एबल टू कंप्लीट योर टारगेट। तुम मेहनत कर रहे हो बट तुम उसको 50% पे छोड़ देते हो, सेटिस्फाई हो जाते हो, तो मे बी दैट शुड हेल्प यू, आई होप। और बादाम खाओ रोज सुबह, that will help you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions. We are running out of time, so I could not take more questions.
Lovely.
Yeah, the students could write their questions to me and I'll forward it to you.
Definitely,
Now
no
I
problem.
would like to wind up the session. Speakers like you are GPS for young minds to reach their desired destinations, ma'am.
Thank
It
you.
was such an enriching session.
Thank
Though
you.
the content was motivational, full of intellectual insights, but it was a great soft skills training session too, which was packed with well-structured thoughts and vivid vocab. I would present a vote of thanks on the behalf of Training and Placement Cell, Faculty of Engineering and Technology,
Thank you.
University of Lucknow, for gracing the board by your presence.
Thank you so much.
And for the students, I have shared one feedback form. Kindly fill it.
Yeah.
And I would like to make one announcement for you all, the students precisely, that the workshop which we are hosting is on skills and behavior. The technical ones are coming up. The thought is in pipeline, but our focus for the time being is on polishing your skills and behavior. Okay, those who are there on YouTube as well, I would like to clarify this point, that don't seek any technical insight from these sessions. These are just focusing on your personal skills, behavior, and personality development. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we are looking forward for future associations as well.
Thank you, Kaumudi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. The host